Hi, everyone. Hope you guys can hear me. I think you guys can. Yes. Welcome to Insight Tuesday. Excited to have you guys here. Once again, it's going to be for 30 minutes. So I'm not going to waste much time. I'm going to jump right into things. And last week we spoke about SOAP notes. And this week we're going to be talking about something from domain 5. If you are studying for the RHIA, if you're studying for the RHIT, then this would be domain 6. So let me go ahead and share my screen. And we'll go ahead and get this show on the road here. So today we're going to be talking about a topic that comes up on the RHIA. And I want you guys to just be more familiar with it. And you guys should be able to see my screen right now. We're going to be talking about the acronym SWOT, SWOT. This is a project management terminology, organizational terminology that they can test you on the RHIA. So I want you guys to be familiar with this topic today. So the format of this whole thing will be, we're going to just kind of have a brief overview of what we're talking about today. We're going to do some practice questions, and then you guys will be free to go. So like I said, 30 minutes. I've already spent 2 minutes talking. So let me jump right into this information. So let's start here. So before I start, does anyone here in the chat, or you can use the chat here, does anyone happen to already know what SWOT stands for? Just checking. Does anybody know what SWOT stands for? If you do, feel free to let me know in the chat. If you know that, then that's great. That means that you are, pretty prepared here when it comes to getting that concept correct on the RHIA or RHIT. Anybody know what SWO or T stands for? I'm going to tell you anyway, but anyone know? Okay, I see strengths, weaknesses, opportunities. I don't remember the T. No worries, you're going to remember it today. Does anyone remember what the T stands for? There's one more. She got that right, though. Strength, weaknesses. Not yet. Okay, no worries. We're going to talk about it today. Okay, no worries. Let us jump into this then. So before I talk about what the letters stand for, is actually here. T stands for threats, okay? So SWOT is a strategic planning and strategic management technique that is used to help a person or help an organization to identify the strengths, the weaknesses, the opportunities, and the threats that are related to business, competition, or project planning. So on the RHIA exam, they test this for, or want you guys to understand this concept, because you may find yourself in a management role where you would be responsible for making a decision and hopefully using tools like this in order to help you make the best choice. So if we decide to get an EHR system, just as an example, what are the strengths with doing that? What are the weaknesses with doing that? What are the opportunities that can happen with us doing this, and what are the threats? And as you guys can probably imagine, there's plenty of different details to add to each of those boxes, right? What's a strength of having a EHR system? You're better able to manage information, right? That's going to be a strength. You're using technology, which is great. What's a weakness? Well, I may have to train my staff on how to do that, and the cost associated with that. That may be a weakness. Okay, well, what are the opportunities? I may be able to do a lot more integrations, right? There's more advancement that I may be able to take on, because now we're no longer on paper. It may be easier for me to send over documentation for a patient. So that's an opportunity. But what are the threats? Of course, there's breaches, data breaches happening all the time. Information can be hacked into. There's, issues with having or having to hire people to manage that data. So that's more money coming out of the company. So that could be a potential threat. So that's why they are testing you guys on this concept. And we're going to talk about what you need to understand in terms of SWOT in order to be successful. So we will cover that in the question section. So let me move on here. So hopefully you guys get it. S, strengths, W, weaknesses, opportunities, and then threats. Example of a SWOT. What I just did here is this is just a pretty simple screenshot of all the stuff that we just spoke about. But what I want you guys to focus on or notice here is that there's two new words that I had not mentioned before. One, internal, and then another word, external. The unique thing that a lot of people don't really know or really figure out is that when you're making a SWOT analysis, the strengths and the weaknesses will end up being internal things within the organization. So what are the strengths of the company and the weaknesses of the company that will help or hurt making or picking a solution? For the external area, we have the opportunities and the threats. And that's why I mentioned, collaborating with other hospitals. That's why I mentioned data breaches, hackers, right? Those are external things that can happen. So you want to understand that even within this SWOT acronym, it's still broken down further between internal versus external. So just keep that in mind as well. All right, how are we doing on time? We're doing good. Okay, I'm gonna go on to the next slide. Now, just so you guys know, if this is helpful and you're like, okay, this is cool. I know I see some names here that are already familiar with my course, but if you don't know, I do have a course where I go into a lot more detail about everything. This is literally just like into some of the stuff that are covered on the exam. We have a lot of great results. These are some testimonies that we have. We have plenty on the website, but just wanted to let you guys know, for those that don't know who I am, that we do have courses that can help you to learn all this information. Pricing is here as well, just so you guys know. If you have any questions, feel free to put it in the chat, but I'm just going to continue going. Okay, now let's talk more about the different letters. So like I mentioned, strengths. S is going to represent, like I said, the internal characteristics that support the success of some type of goal or initiative. So here are just some examples of strengths that could be mentioned if you were in a meeting and had to make this diagram to figure out what decision to make for your hospital or for your facility. Weaknesses, like I said, are internal, right? Internal characteristics that may end up disturbing the process or the success of what you guys are trying to do. So these are going to be, I mentioned in my example about staff not knowing how to use technology as an example. So so it'll all be internal things that could affect things from being successful. And that is shown here in these examples. Opportunities, external things, right? So market growth, you're having a technological advancement happening, partnerships, right? These are opportunities that are external factors to the organization. And then the threats, once again, I said hackers and cybersecurity issues, but there are other things that can happen depending on the project that can be impacted due to, this new idea happening. So project management for the exam, you have to know what a project is and you have to know all the different definitions, but make sure that you're also taking into account understanding what SWOT stands for. Okay. All right, moving right along. So now what I want to do is I'm going to have us go through some questions. Before we jump into the questions, does anyone have any questions for me about SWOT before we do some practice questions? And I want you guys to test your knowledge and see how well you do. Okay. I don't see anybody having questions. So I am going to jump into the first question. So here is our first question, and I'm going to give you guys some time to read it. And I want you to put what you think the answer is in the chat. So a hospital's strategic planning team is conducting a SWOT analysis to better understand its competitive position. Which of the following should be classified as an opportunity? A, aging healthcare infrastructure. B, introduction of new government regulations on patient data privacy. C, increasing community outreach and wellness programs. Or D, high employee turnover rate. So I'm going to give you guys about a minute to think about it and use that chat and let me know what you think the answer is. Okay, I see a guess. Anyone else want to take a guess? Give you guys just another minute. I know you have to process. What is an opportunity? And then which one sounds like an opportunity? Remember, external versus internal. Give you guys one more minute here. Going once, going twice. Okay. So the answer here, I see a lot of C's. The answer here is C. That is correct. That is the answer. So opportunities are external factors. So increasing community outreach, right, and wellness programs is going to be an external opportunity for the organization. So for those that pick C, good job. All right, let's go to the next question. Question number 2. During a SWOT analysis, which of the following scenarios should be listed as a weakness for a healthcare facility? So remember, weakness, internal, right? And then a weakness. So what's the best answer? And I'll let you guys read through it and put it in the chat. Okay. I have one answer. Let's see. What does everyone else think? Okay. So the answer to this question is, it was B. So you guys are correct. So the weakness is going to be, of course, internal factors, right? So dependencies on a legacy EHR system that lacks interoperability can limit the hospital's efficiency, which is going to be, of course, a weakness. So I'm happy you guys are getting this. I'm going to ask just a pop question, a pop quiz question, whatever you want to call it. Can someone tell me what the O stands for in SWOT? You can just type it out in the chat. What does O stand for? Correct, opportunity. Okay, that's a good question to ask on the exam as well. So, all right, let's do another one. Which of the following is considered a threat, or T, in a SWOT analysis for a healthcare organization? And I'll let you guys read the answers. What do you think? And think external. Okay. And someone is on fire. They're answering these questions very quickly. So that is awesome. All right. So the answer here, and you guys are doing really good on this concept, so I'm happy to see this. The answer is C. That's definitely going to be C. External factor, right? That's going to challenge. The rest were kind of not threats, right? So C was the answer that actually made sense here. All right. And question number 4. When performing a SWOT analysis, a hospital identifies several factors. Which one of these is a strength? Internal, remember, internal. Any guesses? You guys got at the same time here. Everyone said B, and let's check that answer out. The answer is B. So internal, right? And state of the art medical technology and facilities enhancing capabilities, that's obviously going to be a good thing, right? We like that. And our last question here, in the context of a SWOT analysis, which of the following would be considered an internal weakness that needs to be addressed by hospital management? Internal weakness. And hopefully it just shoots right at you, because it just kind of points right at me when I see it. And that's how you want it to be on your test day. The answer just kind of just sticks out to you like a sore thumb. And everyone got it right. The answer was B as in boy. Awesome. Awesome. So I'm happy you guys understand that concept. You're probably like, this is super simple. Like, why is she covering this? Because these are easy points that you can lose if you don't understand internal, external, etc. So I'm happy everyone here got that now, and hopefully now knows what all the letters stand for, or the letters stand for. So for more weekly RHIA questions, follow me on Medium. I post them every single week, so you guys can have some practice questions. The answers will also be there for you as well. They're free, so feel free to use that resource as you're studying. Like I said, free 99. And we finished rather quickly, which is perfectly fine with me. Join me, of course, next week. I'll be doing this every single week. But does anyone have any questions for me before we close? We finished early today, which is okay. Anyone have any questions for me about SWOT? Or does anyone have any topics that they would like to see me cover for Insight Tuesday? Feel free to let me know in the chat as well. Anything that you would like for me to present in this fashion. And I'll wait to see if there's any feedback. I'm just looking at the chat. So any feedback, anything that you want to see covered, the charts and the graphs. I struggle with histograms versus bar. Yeah, that's actually, that I can definitely do. I'm taking notes. Okay, charts and graphs. Okay. Yeah, next week, I will cover the difference between the histograms and the bar graphs, because there are differences, and you want to make sure that you understand what those differences are. So yes, I will write that down. Any other topics that stick out to you guys that you're like, I would love to see an Insight Tuesday on this topic? Any other topics? Nothing too detailed because we have 30 minutes, but any other topics? Pareto charts. Okay. So data visualization stuff is what I'm seeing. Okay. Any other feedback? Now is your time. I want to get feedback since you guys are here. Nothing else? Going once, going twice. Okay. I would take the silence as no, that's it. Okay. So I have taken those notes down, and we will cover the Pareto, not Pareto, the histograms and the bar graphs next week. So come prepared. It'll be the same format. We'll teach, like kind of cover the basics, do some practice questions, and hopefully you leave here with a nice refresher, as she mentioned in the chat. So that is all I have for you guys. Enjoy your evenings, get some rest. Tomorrow's another work day, and I will see you guys next week at the same time. We'll talk about bar graphs versus histograms. All right. Bye, guys. Thank you for your time. Thank you.